what part of your body do you wash first? Like you get in the shower, what part of your body are you washing first?
Usually my hair.
You go hair first.
I go the old top-down method. I start at my hair and work my way down from there.
Oh, interesting. So I start with my chest to to get a good lather. Like I start with my chest. I'm not a really hairy guy, but I have some chest hair.
Yeah, okay.
And I get a good lather going, and then I kind of use that to start get the ball rolling, and then I work my way down. My hair is the last thing that I wash.
You obviously spend the longest time on your, private parts, I'm sure, because they're just so massive.
It takes a while when you have cojones that big to fully lather them up. But I'm not going to linger in that area, because if I linger in that area, then, well, I'm already in the shower.
Yeah, right? Yeah,
You can't linger. You got to quick wash that and move on.
You do have to, no, don't stop and think, because it just doesn't turn out well.
No, you can't. You can't. Like, you've got to go into the shower with a clear mindset. Because that's really your only place of solitude once you have children.
That's it. The bathroom is like the only place where you may get some time.
You got to be efficient. You got to be efficient. Okay, so you do hair and then you work your way down?
Yeah,
okay.
I usually do hair, armpits, other areas, and then I'll fill the rest in from there.
Do you wash the bottom of your feet?
No, I've never washed the bottom of my feet.
Oh, you gotta wash those. I'll even occasionally go between the toes if I'm feeling really froggy.
I do think one of the most satisfying things in the shower is when you exfoliate and you can see the pores literally get unclogged with all the crap that's been in them. That's a pretty cool feeling.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever had that. I guess I don't. I shower. I mean, I do a better job than that, I guess.
No, you could jump in there right now and you would have dead skin that you would need to get off yourself. I guarantee it.
I don't want to start thinking about it though. I don't want anytime somebody's like, "You've got small mites living on your body all the time." Like, no, I don't want to think about all that stuff. I polled the audience. Apparently, you are completely wrong in what you suggest. 60% of people said that they do chest/arms first. 20% said face, neck. 20% said hair. Nobody starts with legs. 0% say legs. I would agree with that. Nobody's doing their legs first.
I'm not even entirely sure I fully, I'm not going below the kneecap.
Oh, yeah. I've heard something like some rationale that you don't really need to wash your legs because everything eventually floods down there anyway, that you don't have to do it. But you got to go down there and wash your legs.
I mean, I don't know. I have certain spots that I make sure I hit. And depending amongst the time that I have, then maybe I'll get the extra stuff.
Do you have a part of your body you would say that is always consistently kind of dirty?
Behind my ears always seems to be kind of stinky if I let it go a day or two.
How are you smelling behind your ears?
Once again, if you go like that right there and you smell it, it's probably going to smell a little funky if you haven't showered in a couple of days.
Oh, I didn't know that, I guess. I would say the back of my neck. I don't have a sense of smell.
Oh, that's... Fuck. I keep forgetting that. I don't know how I always forget that with you.
Nobody ever remembers. My own lovely wife of 10 years and 13 years in a relationship the other day was like, smell this.
Oh, yeah, your anniversary just passed, right?
Yeah. That's all we need to talk about that.
Congratulations.
We don't need to get into our anniversaries. And it was in October, but I guess, okay. All right.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm glad to see that I'm one amongst the more normal people who start with their chest. It's just right here. You got the soap. Are you a lather guy or a bar guy?
I am a kind of like my candles. I like scented soaps, so I will try many of those.
You really are the biggest pansy. You really are the biggest pansy.
Why? I mean, I can smell like zest. Or I can smell like, garden roses. You know, like what would you pick? Don't
You
be
want to
angry.
be like a man that, right? You're hanging out with the guys. There's a dust up that might be potentially happening, and you want to come up there, and somebody's like, "Who smells like lavender roses?"
I mean, I have like a manly sense, I guess you could call them.
Have you ever judged a man by his scent? Not stinking, but like, why does that guy smell so floral?
Yes, I have actually. I've, there's a couple of scents that really strike me. Patchouli is one of them. Somebody that has a very sweet smell as a man, like a very like a rose almost kind of smell.
Mmm.
I'm like, what happened, man? You put on your wife or partner's perfume? I mean, it's a little musky in here today.
Yeah, you got to smell like a man a little bit. Like,
But what does that
effort.
smell like?
Just combination
Peanut butter
of,
and jelly sandwiches and cigarettes.
I would say that not having the sense of smell, I would say that a man should smell like a combination of anger, elbow grease, and disappointment.
Well,
That's what a man should smell like.
our generation, sure, but don't go below us because
Oh, here we go. Here we
Everybody.
go. The kids
No, no.
today. Okay, all right.
All right, let's give some shout outs here. Anastasia Vibes, Hazel Chapman, Lorraine Smith, and I apologize for my raspy voice. I was at a wedding where I sang and danced for 5 hours, so apologize.
Just for everyone listening, John is desperate to talk about the wedding. He's desperate to talk about it. He wants to try to get it in there. He's going to try to weasel it in there. I'm going to try my best to keep it out.
I'm just disappointed that I sent Nick a fantastic video and he couldn't even give me a thumbs up on it.
I actually heard my wife, so I believe my wife recorded me teaching my sons how to do the Stone Cold Steve Austin Stunner. And she sent it to John because it was an instructional video. And he sent back an emotional message. And to be honest with you, she listened to it and I didn't even listen to it.
Well, that's terrible. And that's why I don't waste my time sending you things.
It's too much for me. I don't like emotions.
It's not worth it.
I don't like emotions. I don't want to deal with emotions.
You should feel it. You probably would have been. I sent it at 12:30 Eastern, so it was 9:30 West Coast. You probably would have got it right in the groove, right when you were kicking on Freebird. It would have been just an amazing moment.
I've been watching Freebird pretty much every time I do drugs, and I love it.
I
love it.
It's not. I don't know. Anyways, I don't remember where you were. I don't think I said Frank Gill yet, or Logan Cook, Bob Amadon, Aaron Enan, Aaron Ankenbrandt. Felt like I would just double up there on Aaron's. Nikki Graham Smith, and we'll end here with David Franks and Frizaro Patris? I like Frizaro. I don't think that's a real name, but I like Frizaro. I like a Z in a name.
Would you rather be named Frank or Carl? Because to me, those are two names that people really shouldn't be named. Like, you look at a baby and you're like, Frank. Carl. Would you rather be named Frank or Carl?
I guess if I had to choose probably a Frank, I feel like Franks are more fun than Carls.
Yeah. I would say I've never known like a salty Frank or a Carl. You kind of got to be a good guy to be named Frank or Carl.
Do you?
You have to be like you got to have a certain number of jolliness to you.
I mean, I guess
what is happening over there?
My phone just clicked on some kind of advertisement or something.
Oh,
It kicked me out of our chat room.
Okay, all right, yeah, Shay. If that's what you're going with, go with that.
What else would it have been?
I don't know.
You want me to get on my rant about ads now? Is that what you want?
No, I don't. But I'm getting a lot of ads for like medical stuff, and I'm like, I'm not that old.
Let's see what's happening in the world this week. What was that?
I don't know. Oh, P. I don't know. Something playing on my phone.
Yeah, come on. So I've been wanting to tell this story, maybe not to the world, but forever. That you
Okay.
and I once worked for a man, a news director, who was once named one of the worst bosses in America by Keith Olbermann.
Oh, I remember that. Yes.
So
Yeah,
I
he
won't
was
say
named
his
one-
name,
Yeah, yeah.
but the reason why I bring it up, it all come full circle. The reason why our former news director kind of was in hot water, got national attention, was he asked everybody in a newsroom to write down people around them that they thought weren't pulling their weight. You know, put your name on it, that you signed it, and hand it to him, right? Like that's just unheard of. Well, now apparently Elon Musk's folks have sent out emails to every federal agency as of this recording, saying asking every employee to put down 5 things that they did last week that were successful and send it back to them. It's like, what are we doing here, man?
That's the kind of thing, right, to keep it out of the political aspect, is that it's not your job to justify your job. It's your boss's job to justify your job. Like, it's not like you created the position and decided that you were the one who needed to do this work. Someone else created the position, and someone else should be deciding what you should be doing. It's not your job to justify your job. And all that stuff, like one of the things that I feel like I had to learn in the corporate world as I went out into real working was the ability to bullshit. To take minor accomplishments and make them seem like it was a big deal. I feel like learning to manage up is the most important thing you can do in any job. Manage expectations for the people who are above you.
I mean, do you have any more pieces of wisdom that you want to share?
Whenever you're doing a job, you need to find out what metric, whatever metric that is most important to the people above you, and then find a way to basically fulfill that metric. Because you may have like 10 things that you're responsible for, but there's only one of those that they really care about. And if you just do that one thing, you can do anything else. Like, I've been a terrible employee at some jobs, but I did that one thing and was promoted, even though I was terrible and even didn't outright do other aspects of the job.
Well, now look at you running a Fortune 500 company.
Yep.
Let's see. George Clooney, of all people, apparently says that he wants to go off the grid and has bought a farm and is apparently going to live on the farm. And that's how he's going to live now.
Good for him. I don't understand. If I ever got into a position where I made $10 million, nobody would ever hear from me again.
I honestly believe that. I don't think you would even talk to me if you made...
No, I mean, I would keep friends and family and stuff like that. But, like, I don't understand people... You just made all this money. Like, you coming back? Like, if I made sports is a little bit different. But if I was doing something like, you just made all this. Or if I was a CEO and you got paid a $50 million bonus, I'd be like, I'm never working again.
Here's a random thought I had. When you go into a bank, like say your bank, do you have a turnover every time you go in there? I feel like every time I go into the bank, it's never the same manager twice that I deal with ever.
I have an online bank. I actually haven't gone into a bank in probably 15 years. Shout out to USAA, baby.
I mean, not to even have to sign paperwork or get anything notarized, nothing?
Nothing. I literally have not stepped foot in a bank in probably, 15 years. I mean, I use USAA. It's a great banking service, and I'm very happy for it. And they just mail it to you. Or you use this thing, I don't know if you've heard of it, the internet. They can, like, if you have to sign a document, they can just email it to you, and you can click it.
To have something notarized, you have to be in front of a notary.
Oh, I don't know I've never had something notarized. Like, what are you doing?
Just
taking out loans to buy Pokemon cards?
It just doesn't matter. It doesn't. You know, there's probably a good base of this audience that love Pokemon, and you're shitting on them.
Oh, I'm just like, it's not about them. It's about you. I'm perfectly okay with people doing whatever they want and speaking however they want. It's just you that I like to give a hard time to.
I am an olive branch of our community of listeners and you are shitting on them. Me shitting on them. So.
Do you want to do top 5 Pokemon next episode?
No, because I couldn't even tell you the new generation.
Oh.
Yeah,
Dude.
I'm not like an exact huge Pokemon fan.
Okay.
Like you claim I am.
No, it's fine. Be a big Pokemon fan, dude. Love what you love.
Oh, I hate you. Wet socks or wet underwear? What's more infuriating?
Ooh, wet socks. I can't stand wet socks. That can ruin a day.
Sure can.
I purposely, like if I'm going somewhere, I live in Seattle, I pack extra socks for like my boys. Like you got to have dry feet, man. No, because I'm not going to get my feet wet. I'm a grown adult. Like I'm like, hey, there's a puddle there. I should walk around it.
Well, you never know what kids are going to do. You tell them there's ice to not step on the ice, and then step on the ice. Hey, don't step in the puddle.
Why is your underwear wet though? Like you shouldn't just be getting hit with wet underwear in the middle of a day.
I mean, hey, you never know. Maybe it's a problem. Maybe, yeah, you're not supposed to. You know, I don't know.
Do you run into wet underwear frequently? Like, God dang it, my underwear's wet again.
Have I? No, not unless I'm having a hemorrhoid or something.
Okay. How much, everybody knows, every man understands that no matter how much you shake and dance, the last 2 drops go in your pants. But how often
oh my God,
will you get like, oh man, that's too much. Like I didn't quite finish.
That's a good question.
Got a decent amount of in my underwear. Like how often would you say that happens to you?
I mean, I'm going to say probably every 4th or 5th time.
Oh, that's way too much. I was gonna say like once a month for me. That's gonna happen.
No, I mean there's a lot of contributing factors. Like
you're just not doing it right.
Maybe it's a small bathroom. Maybe somebody comes in, it startles you. You know, maybe something happens. Maybe you think you're done, but you didn't shake it all. You know, like there's all kinds of determining factors.
So I like how these 2 things have now come together to paint us a picture of what's going on. Right? Like the wet socks versus wet underwear question, which I thought was an odd question. I thought that maybe you were putting on wet underwear, like it didn't quite dry and you needed underwear. Now I see that there's a recurring pattern that your underwear is getting wet because you're not finishing the job. Like you just got to pause for a minute, get it all out.
I mean, I didn't say that it was like affecting me. You asked me a question. I answered the question.
I know. I just didn't expect it to be that often.
I still feel like you need to really spend the next week and look every time you pee. And I bet you it's a lot more than you think.
Oh, no. I mean, I'm going to get some in there. Like the last 2 drops, you're always going to have the last 2 drops if you're going to a public restroom that's going to get in there. Because you can't just be there all day. But I'm not like, no one else, if they happen to touch that area, would be feeling a wet spot. Like, are you saying that every 4th or 5th time that you go, if the wife walks up and like, hey, John, let's go, and grabs it, she's going to walk away with her hand noticing it's a little wet?
I mean, maybe.
Yeah,
Never.
Dude, I think you got to refocus.
I mean, plus, you know, one of the issues that I had for a long time was standing too close to the urinal. And the splash itself would get my shit wet.
Yeah, I can't say that I ever think to like, wait, if you walk up to a urinal, are you like, you don't just naturally walk right up and think that's the right space? Like muscle memory doesn't come in? Do you have to like actively think of where you need to be in relation to the urinal? You're like, oh, too close, back up.
I mean, there's a little bit of a natural, you know, inclination. But if I really have to go and I know it's going to fire out of there, maybe I stand a little further back. But then if there's somebody in the urinal next to me, then I can't stand all the way back because now my shit's exposed. You know, like there's a lot of thought that goes into it.
I guess I never think about my distance to the urinal. Like that's just kind of muscle memory. Like that's about right where you stand.
Oh, act like you haven't backpedaled to see if you can, you know, piss from the opposite wall into the urinal.
Yeah, I remember a kid, Francis Noonan. Peed like across the room. Shout out to Francis Noonan.
Yeah, Frankie. All
He
right.
went like all the way across. It was like a trough urinal. He went like all the way across. It's impressive.
Man, there was an old sports arena here, and the Red Wings played out of it, and it had a trough bathrooms. And you want to see some shit. You see men fighting for that thing at like the second intermission.
Man.
Sitting around with their dinghies hanging out, just trying to piss into a trough, man. Like,
That's just such a weird thing. Like, just like 400 people in a room taking a, like, oh, everybody just just walking in there. Taking
fucking dinghies hanging out.
Just dinghies hanging out. Okay.
Well, that really, that took a lot of life of its own. That was fun.
Yeah, okay.
I don't really have much more, to be honest. Nothing that's really, I was going to ask you what your anxiety level is to fly right now.
Oh,
with everything that's happening.
Ooh, I don't know what's going on, but my tolerance of flying has dropped off the face of the earth. I do not want to fly at all anymore.
Yeah,
like, I mean, to the point where I'm not going places because I don't want to fly, and I've never been like that before.
I think you're right. I don't know if I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think there's a lot of noise right now. I don't think there's as much, because obviously what's happened with the plane crashes, then you have the Trump administration saying they're going to cut all the probationary employees and all that stuff. But they still have to run at standards, right? Like they still have to,
Right. I think that you're still fine, right? Like statistically, air travel is still safer. But I just think that what's happened in the news and then the gradual way that flying has gone, where like every part of the experience has become the worst possible experience. Like, how can we make this really difficult for everyone and try to get as much money out of you as possible? Like, just every part of the flying experience is awful. It's awful.
Like, I mean, that is the thing. Any airline now, like there is no airline that is above the rest. Unless you're flying first class, which none of us are.
I flew Frontier for the first time ever. And I feel like the slogan of Frontier should be, "You'll only fly once." Like, you would never again would I ever have. Like, there was a huge line because the thing is that whenever you try to nickel and dime somebody, people will figure out a way around that and make that whole experience terrible. Like, if you try to charge people for checking the bags, they'll try to pack as much stuff into the smallest bag that they can so that now this entire thing takes way too long to get on the plane. If you tell people you're going to charge them for checking a bag, then everybody's going to do something in advance and make it impossible to get to the gate. Like, we're always going to find the shortcut, and whatever you try to do, we're going to find a way to ruin that experience. It's awful.
I don't even, I mean, I haven't flown in 6 or 7 years, but I was definitely one of those guys, one of those people that pack everything you can into a carry-on because I don't want to check it. I don't want to pay the $60 extra to check a bag. Like, that's absurd to me.
Flying is terrible, man. I'm actively avoiding it. Actively hate the experience. Okay.
Add me to the list. All right. Well.
Oh, is that it? You got it? You got it all?
That's it.
This is going to be big.
This is going to be big.
All right, so our top 5 is top 5 sandwiches. Or as John likes to say, sandwedges. Hit him with it.
A sandwich?
Sandwich. Okay, what's your number 5?
I'm curious. What kind did you pick like fast food sandwiches or actual sandwiches?
No, like types of sandwiches. Like just types.
Okay.
Like,
all right.
I'm not giving away my stuff, but like it's not on my list, but I would say like turkey breast.
Okay. All right, good. I wasn't sure how we were going to do this here, but my number 5 is it's a roast beef sandwich.
Ooh, I like a roast beef sandwich, and I would say that still to this day, the greatest deal that I have ever experienced in my life was Arby's 5 for $5.55.
Man, God, that didn't last too long, did it? They didn't keep that around.
But I would still say that was the best value deal of all time. 5 for $5.55.
Yeah, it's definitely up there.
My number 5 is grilled cheese. Oh, grilled cheese.
Okay. All right. I don't.
Don't.
Okay. It's just okay to me.
Wow. I bet you make it with snob cheese too. If you make a grilled cheese, what are you making it with? Probably not cheddar, but like I make it with ancient provolone and Rasputin. I don't even know. I make it with Havarti. You're that kind of
Havarti,
person.
close.
Is it Havarti? Oh.
And Havarti's, it's considered the stinky cheese, so I'm surprised that you don't eat more of it.
It's the only fancy cheese
let's
I
see.
can think
For
of.
a grilled cheese, I use multiple kinds of cheeses, and I also fry it in a frying pan, so it's delicious.
Oh yeah, that's the same thing though. I mean, I make mine on a griddle, but I would consider that the same.
Okay, yeah, same thing.
Okay, it's your number 4.
Let's see here. Man, the list is... I'm going to put chicken sandwich as my number 4. Like a chicken breast, like just a good chicken sandwich. Like, think Chick-fil-A. Like, that's what I'm going with.
Okay, I agree. How do you feel about buffalo chicken?
Ate it a lot when I was younger. Now I'm kind of out of it. Like, I'd rather have like a good, like dry seasoned chicken breast if I'm gonna eat. Like I like that better.
Such a snob. You're such a snob. I'm not tired of this buffalo chicken. I'd rather have a dry seasoned paprooche.
It's not even a word. Paprooche?
No, I don't know any.
Paprika.
That's what I'm trying to make fun of you, and I don't even know enough words to make fun of you about. My number 4 is Thanksgiving leftover sandwich. I would have put it a lot. I would have put it a lot higher, but you can't really get it, obviously, very much.
Shout out to a former city that we used to both live in, Orlando. There was a sandwich shop there called Pom Poms. I get some free advertising for them.
They closed.
They're closed?
They closed.
Oh,
I know.
That's disappointing.
That's one of the only times I've ever seen a restaurant that closed, and I was actually upset about it. Like, God dang it! I don't even live there. It's 2,000 miles away. I was upset.
The reason why I was bringing them up, which is kind of asinine now, but they had the best like Thanksgiving Day sandwich that I've ever had. It was amazing.
Yeah, they made really good sandwiches.
All right, my number 3 is the old classic peanut butter and jelly.
Okay, I'm gonna really need to scrutinize your list to see what you're gonna have higher than peanut butter and jelly.
That's fair. I mean, I like the sandwich. I like it modified naturally, with maybe some banana in there and other things. But on the surface, I don't really like peanut butter and jelly. But you get crunchy peanut butter, blah blah blah. It's delicious.
Have you ever tried mixing? What you really got to do to make a really good peanut butter and jelly sandwich is you put the peanut butter and the jelly in a bowl and then you mix them together. It will completely change how you feel about peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
I've never done that, but I'll try.
You have to. It'll really change it. It'll completely change how you feel about it. It's so much better. Mix it together.
Okay. All right.
What are you doing right now?
What am I doing right now?
Like, go do it right now.
I already had dinner. Sorry.
Oh, that's early dinner. 3 is the club sandwich. I love a good club sandwich. Any kind of bun, really. Any kind of bun. It's the fanciest sandwich.
No, it's not. It's not by any means, but it's good. It's I mean, how are you going? You going double decker? You going triple decker? You going 4 stories?
No, I'm gonna go triple decker. I want the bread, the stuff, the bread, the stuff, the bread, and I want it to be cut in the kind of like triangles that they do.
Okay.
I want it cut like this, like an X.
Yeah. So my number 2, and I think you're gonna have an issue with this, but it's considered a sandwich, and that is a s'more.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how you if you're going to go that route, I don't know exactly how you don't put it as number 1 would be the big question that I have about that.
Because once again, I like sweets, but my personal list, my number 1's dead set. My number 1's easy to me. Like,
Oh, okay.
which I think you're also going to hate on, but it is what it is. But yeah, my number 2 would be a s'more because it's chocolate. It's graham. You're out by a fire most, right? You're outside. Like, it has everything going for it.
I understand that. I would agree with it. The problem is that to me, a s'more always ends up a schmore. That's a hard word to say. It always ends up being more of a hassle. It's one of those things that, oh, that sounds good, and it always disappoints me. It's like hot chocolate. Like, oh, that's gonna be, and it's never really that good. Like, I'd rather just, like, if I had a choice between a s'more and just eating the chocolate, I'd probably just eat the chocolate.
I get what you're saying. I do. But I also don't because it's delicious.
My number 2 is a Cuban. I love Cuban sandwiches.
Cubans are good. I mean, I gotta be in the mood though for a Cuban. Like, I could have a club sandwich and just be like, okay, I'm having a club sandwich. For the Cuban, I have to be in the mood for a Cuban.
I can respect that a little bit. I can respect that. I guess I like sandwiches with the right amount of mustard.
You're a mustard guy?
I'm a mustard guy, but it has to be the right amount. I need to know that the mustard is there. I have to enjoy the mustard, but it can't be too much mustard, and I can't have it too much.
Okay. All right. My number 1, and I'm going to stick my nose up in my pinky, but it's like Italian cured meats, like salami, prosciutto, different kinds of salami. Like, that's my number 1 by far.
How do you feel about gabagool?
Maybe I should know what that is, but I don't know what it is.
I have no idea what it is. I just know that it was on The Sopranos, and they were always going for gabagool.
Is it even a meat?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a meat in the way that bacon is like a meat, where it's not like something you should be eating a lot.
What the hell?
You gonna be all right?
Sorry, one of the headline I read here is, you're right, it's an Italian cured meat that's a cross between sausage and prosciutto.
Oh, I don't know what prosciutto is. That's too fancy for me.
I actually had it, but not spelled as gabagool. So.
Oh, that's just what they call it, the locals.
Oh, all right.
What do you got on my face?
I know, you're looking good there.
My number 1 is peanut butter and jelly. I think that peanut butter and jelly is the ultimate sandwich. I don't know if there is a flavor combination in this world that rivals peanut butter and jelly. Salt and pepper you could put up there. Ketchup and mustard. How did you pull that up so fast?
I have something, as you always ridicule me, I have something called the internet, Nick.
But you did that really fast. I was surprised that you were able to play that quickly. Like, you didn't have to go through any ads or anything.
Nope. Probably one of the more, for all of you young people out there, that was like a viral song before viral songs were viral songs.
Oh, we could do that. Viral songs. Peanut butter jelly time. Like, what does the... Oh, I hate some viral songs.
What does the fox say? Anyways, all right. Oh, boy. But I do want to say this, that if the hot dog is considered a sandwich, that's my number 1. But I didn't want to get into that. I did not want to get into that.
Yeah, I mean, I would consider the hot dog to be a sandwich. I mean, it fits all the technical rules, but I still wouldn't put it as number 1.
I mean, would, by far.
But I don't understand why a hamburger isn't a sandwich.
Yeah, that makes no sense either. It's still just a
sandwich. Cheeseburger is a sandwich.
I don't know. I stay out of that whole debate because I think
it's too controversial. We can't even go there in this day and age.
But I feel like if you were going to do that, you have to do like overall of it all, because you could have put a submarine sandwich on there.
Well, yeah, I would put a submarine sandwich on there. So the same thing. Do you have anything else in your honorable mention? Now I'm getting hungry.
I mean, I did grilled cheese, but only because you had to. I did an egg sandwich. I don't know if you ever had an egg sandwich. Those are delicious.
And it's just 2 pieces of bread and an egg?
Yeah, but in some mayo.
You scramble? Ooh.
Maybe some dill with it. Oof.
Wait, do you scramble it?
No, you make it hard and then you fry it up. You can fry it up, or you can do it hard faced, and then put some mayo on the bread and chow down on that.
And do you put
MFer.
fancy salts? Do you put paprika on it? To me, paprika is the fanciest salt. Spice. Like, ooh, paprika.
No, I mean, I don't use a lot of paprika.
Yeah. Fake.
What does that even
Fake
mean?
snob.